This is a relatively affordable borescope, and Jack and Keith worked pretty doggone hard to give you an insightful look inside rifle bores and how this tool works. Take a look at this.
Had an awful lot of requests from you folks on being able to look at the bores of the rifles that we shoot, and when we're talking about throat erosion and things like that, to actually show it to you. Well, to do that you need a borescope, and it just so happens, naturally I'm the tool guy, I've got a borescope. So this is a really nice, this is kind of the industry standard here. This is Hawkeye borescope from the Gradient Lens Corporation. Now, this is the Slim 17, which allows, it means it'll go into a 17 caliber barrel, and I'm going to show you the various parts and show you how that works. Then our master videographer, video producer Keith figured out how to actually look through the borescope itself while we have it inside a barrel, and you're going to see some really interesting stuff in there. You see the kind of thing that we'll be showing you in the future when we talk about things that have to do with bores. So let me show you what we've got here. Now this, these are not cheap. This came as a kit, and I think Midway was selling them, and a number of folks were. You were able to get them for about $780, $790 for the entire kit. I think the retail on them is around $1,200 or so. So this is precision stuff. It is not cheap. Okay, what have we got here? First of all, we have the borescope unit itself. Now this is, I think, 17 inches long, and it's about 15 caliber in diameter. As I said, this is the Slim 17 model. You have a focusing eyepiece here on the rear, which allows you to see down here. Now you can actually, excuse me, sit here at the table and look across the room, and you can see a small picture there, and you can focus it right down, and it's kind of like looking through the wrong end of a telescope. Things look really small, but amazingly small lens, but very, very good. Now, then we have, and again, this looks straight ahead. This is called the mirror tube. And if we look at the end here, let's see if I can rotate it this way. Yeah. You see a little 45-degree mirror in there. Now, put that over the end, and it allows me to look straight out at the side of the bore. So it slides over like so, and this is very tightly fitted. And then you slide this into the gun, and when you're looking down the borescope, you're actually looking that way. You're looking perpendicular to the scope at a particular object, and obviously you're looking from pretty close range. So we'll show you the difference in what it looks like. Now, since this goes over the outside of the tube, this will not go down a 17 caliber bore. It will go down a 20 caliber bore, so that's the only way you're limited. So again, that's not a huge limitation. Now, what's this fitting down here? No, that's not to blow on, to blow dirt out. You have a light source. This is really nothing but a little mini mag light with a special focus and connector piece on the end. That screws on the end here, and when you turn it on, it actually puts light down the tube so that you can see what you're looking at in there. Obviously, bores are fairly dark places, so this lights it right up and you're able to see. Now, having purchased this and looked at it, I discovered that they also had an additional accessory available, and this is from Streamlight, and this is one of those xenon lights. It's extremely bright. It's not as bright as the ones you can buy now, but it's probably about 80 or 90 lumens, so it's way brighter than the mini mag light, and it uses a couple of the 3-volt lithium batteries. So, and then that screws on, and this is much, much, much brighter, and I find that it's a really excellent accessory to have. So now you've seen what we've got here. What we're going to do now is I'll grab a couple of barrels, and we'll hitch this up so you're able to look down them, and I'll tell you what you're taking a look at. All right, we're looking down the middle of a E.R. Shaw barrel. This is a 22 rimfire target barrel, and we're not using the mirror. We're looking straight down the bore, and and you can see that the barrel is not as shiny as you would think it would be when you look down it with the naked eye. You can see the imperfections in there quite clearly, and you can see the white stuff in there, which is pieces of lint and you know, stuff from cleaning patches. Now, it's kind of hard to do this because we're holding the barrel and trying to hold it up to the camera and keeping the borescope aligned with the camera lens. So it's not exactly like having a video borescope where you can just put it in and look at it. So kind of like, you know, three monkeys trying to hold up a ladder. All right, now we're going to go ahead and pull this out, and we'll take a look down this bore with the mirror on it, and you'll see the different view that you get. All right, we're looking down the scope now with the right angle mirror on it. If you look at the top left, that's actually my finger. We're just entering the chamber, and you can see the chamber as we slide down. We're in the throat now. There is no cut on the end of this like there would be with a center fire, but you can see how rough that looks. And we're just getting, you see the circular machine marks in there as I rotate it. Now we're just getting into the rifling here, and we can take a look at that. And you're looking at that from really close range. Let me slide this farther down. We'll see what we look down a little farther down the bore. You can clearly see the, trying to keep this centered here. You can see the, right there in the center of the screen, you can see the machine marks across the rifling. And we slide this a little farther and rotate it. Actually, that's pretty smooth up in this area, but you can still see the stuff from the cleaning patches and all. Interesting enough, you can see the little mirror down there too that we're looking at it through. We're trying to keep this focused here. Let's run down a little farther down the bore here, see what we look like. But yeah, see, look at all the tool marks in there. That's why using one of those tubs, final finish, bore lapping kits where you have the 4 or 5 different grits loaded into the 22 lead bullets, and firing them down the bore and cleaning them up makes a huge difference. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other guns. We've got an M1 Garand, and we've got an old SMLE with a really cruddy barrel in them, and we'll see what they look like with some erosion and with a lot of copper wash in them. All right, now we're looking right down the bore of an old SMLE 303. You can see how the edges are eroded there. They're not real sharp like they were in the other ones. You can see rust and pitting. You can see the wash of copper through there. So, and look at the long striations down that bore there. These obviously weren't designed as target rifles. Now that one's fairly sharp, but you can see when we move on to the others here that they're not. You can see crud there all around it. So, a lot of stuff to see here. Let's see if I can get down to the, again, we're trying to, I can't get far. There you go. There's a big rust pit there. You can see that. All right. And we can't get quite far enough down into the chamber here because of the way we've got it set up. We're actually looking from the muzzle down rather than up through the chamber. But you can see what that bore looks like. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. And there you go. All right, we're looking without the side mirror. We're looking straight down the bore, and we're coming down from the muzzle. We can't come in from the butt because of trying to feed it in, and it's a semi-auto, obviously. But you can see all of the crud and rust and pitting and nasty stuff in the bore. We're going to go ahead and put the the side looker, the mirror on there, and take a look and see there, and you will probably get ill. All right, now there is a truly ugly bore. You can see the pits, you can see the striations, you can see all the erosion, you can see the copper wash in that bore, and I'm sorry I'm wandering us around here. Hope you don't get seasick. But there you go. There's copper, all the pitting, and obviously the lands and grooves have been badly worn and eroded. So that's a bore that you don't want. Well, you saw the obvious difference when we used just the straight tube and you're looking straight down the bore. You can see a lot longer. You see the rifling twist and so on and so forth, but it looks fairly dark. You don't see a lot unless you bring some light in from the other end, which we did at one point. I think you saw the difference there. It's really obvious when we put that mirror on so that you're looking directly to the side of the tip. You're looking real close up at the condition of the bore. And you saw that even a brand new custom 22 rimfire barrel has a lot of marks and stuff, and you saw how ugly the one of this World War II veteran returned from South Korea's Army Garand was. This is an absolutely awful barrel. You take a look at that, you know it's time to replace the barrel and put something decent in it if you're planning on shooting it. So you can see the kind of things you can see. What I'd like to do in the future is if we'll come up with one where the throat's really eroded so that you can see what throat erosion looks like. And Keith's going to try and build a fixture so that we can lock the gun and the camera and the borescope together so that we're not trying to balance three things together here while holding it in front of the camera and holding the borescope and getting 5 people to stand around and coordinate in a square dance here. So hopefully that'll work, and we'll try that in the future. And you know what they can do now, and you know what they look like, and we'll see if we can show you some really neat stuff in the future.